Make our bodies comfortable. Any adjustments that you need to help out, take them. Play with a couple of good breaths. See how that flows for your system today. And just feel this kind of internal excitement for all that's going to come on our journey together today. Excitement to move our bodies, excitement to be stretching, and excitement because in yoga classes, we usually just feel good afterwards. And so that excitement that good things are ahead. And so as we're sitting here breathing, feeling that wonderful excitement, we'll take just a moment to connect with a very simple intention for today. The intention today is that when we move into different stretches, we're trying to move in a very sustainable way. So that means we're not going so deep that after just a breath or two, we feel like we have to get out of it. We're trying to find a perfect depth that feels good, that would be sustainable. If we needed to stay in it for 10, 15, 20 minutes, we could. It's not so intense, but yet we do feel a good stretch. So we'll be playing with all sorts of deep stretches. And the big idea that we're working with today is working on the posterior section of our body. So everything up from the back of the neck, down the spine, down the back sides of the legs, even into the bottoms of the feet. And imagine if any of those spots gets tighter, imagine it's almost like pulling on a string and the whole rest of the back half of the body gets tighter. So instead today, as we work into the fascia, as we work on deep stretching, we're going to help that whole back half of our body just feel better and longer and more limber for us. And so that'll be the couple of ideas that we're heading into the class with. So with that, to get us started, let's begin. We're going to take our knees into the chest. And this first time that the knees come in, the body's a little bit tight. We're still super early on in class. So just nice, easy movements left and right. This gives us that chance to tune in with the body. How does it feel? What can we watch out for today? Good, and we're gonna move right into a hamstring area. Hamstrings aren't necessarily the entirety of the backside of the body, though we do tend to stretch them a lot because they can be a big culprit. When they get tight, they pull on all the rest of it. So as we release the left leg, you can either keep the foot planted, that'll be the easier variation, or extend the leg long on the ground. But either way, right leg is going to start moving up to the sky. At first, the leg doesn't necessarily have to be straight. You're welcome to have it with a little bit of bend. The reason for that would be when we straighten the leg, we're getting the stretch into the insertion points, right behind the back of the knee and at the hip. And so sometimes it's actually useful to stretch the body of the muscle before we get clear down into the insertion points. So with as straight as feels good for the body of the hamstring, we'll give it a couple more breaths. Remember, keep that breath flowing. The more smooth and even our breath is, the more it sends the signal to the body that things can get looser instead of tighter. Good. So here, we've been here about 30, 45 seconds. So now we can start to deepen the experience, whether that means making the leg go all the way straight, getting that stretch clear to those insertion points. Or maybe sometimes that means pulling the whole leg a little bit closer in. Now we're willing to go to that spot that's a bit deeper because we approached it in a nice sustainable way. We didn't force anything too quickly. Good, nice inhales. Exhales. And we're going to start letting this leg open out toward the left, out to the right. So if you can reach the hand to the foot, that is one way to approach that stretch. You could also let the right elbow rest on the ground, like a little shelf for the leg to rest onto. So it's up to you, but opening the right leg out to right. Feeling how that shifts the muscles. So we're still getting largely the hamstrings, but we're moving more toward inner thigh. The thigh specifically is super important to stretch all the angles. So we'll make sure to include inner thighs and even IT band areas today, making sure that whole area, since this is one of our big culprits, that whole area is getting a chance to really open. Good, another breath in. And exhale, that straight leg works its way to about a 45-degree angle to the left. The idea is that we're getting into the IT band. So sometimes the angle, meaning how far in or how low down that the leg is, will impact our ability to feel the IT band stretch at all. And so just play around with that angle. It doesn't have to be exactly tilted to 45. You could play with different things until you feel the IT band speaking to you on this side. Obviously in that sustainable way, nothing too much. But definitely a good amount of opening to start with. Keep our breath flowing. Here we're going to continue to go a little bit deeper in the twist. You could keep this leg straight or you could let it bend and just feel the rest of the spine starting to open up. Again, sustainable, nothing forceful. So feel how approaching the pose is nice and slow, very gentle, is actually allowing a lot of circulation, a lot of blood flow to happen. It's also helping us get into some of those fascia areas rather than just stretching the muscle body itself. And so taking a nice inhale. And exhale, the right hip drops down to the floor. This right leg releases. Whether the foot is planted or whether the leg goes all the way straight, it all depends on what you were working on a little while ago. So from there, we'll start to work on second side. So leg up towards sky. It doesn't have to be straight right away. Work into the body of that muscle again. So the big chunk right in the middle. Just try to feel the stretch right in that area. Keep on breathing. That's our way to tell the body, I support you. I'm being sustainable, I'm not being forceful. Maybe the leg's willing to go just a little bit more, whether that means straightening out or whether that means pulling in, or maybe a combination of both. The leg gets a little shaky, that's okay. That means we're right at a good edge, so don't feel like you have to force anything any deeper than that. Leg's gonna start opening out wide to left. So maybe create the shelf with left hand, or maybe grab up high to help assist the leg opening out. Feel how some of those muscle groups shifted. So a nice inhale. Exhale, leg up, getting into the IT band. We're tilting part way over to the right. Remember, you can play with the leg in or out a little bit deeper, whatever we need to do to get into IT band. Supporting our system into that stretch. As we continue to move into the twist, the leg can stay straight or it can bend. Let it ease its way open. Take another huge inhale. Nice exhale. When the left hip returns to the ground, we're going to do a couple of little pulses to help those muscles continue to learn how to be longer. So taking the knees in, bring the feet above you. It's almost like we're going into happy baby pose, but without the hands. And from that wide knee spot, begin to straighten both legs, parallel position, straight up to sky. We'll pulse back and forth between those two spots, rotating open like happy baby, and extending straight up to the point where those muscle fibers are really long. You could use hands at the top if needed. And release. Let's take another 3. And up. 2. And 1. Beautiful. Bend the knees. We're planting the feet close to glutes. Doing a few bridge poses when the hips lift up. Stay in the high position for a moment and then feel the back muscles and the glutes, the hamstrings, all of those areas kind of clinch, feeling strength. And then release all the way back down. Feel a moment of relaxation through all those areas. Good. 2 more, rolling up. And then clench. And relax. And rest. 1 more, moving up. Hoping those muscles integrate just a little bit more. And release. Relax. Good. Let's take rolling like a ball 3 times. Rocking up. And back. 2. 1. This next time, stay up in boat pose. You could have hands. You could release hands. You could straighten legs. It's all up to you. We're going to hold here. Count up 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees. We're starting to set up a little hug around the thighs. So this could be just our fingertips clasping, or it could be sometimes grabbing onto our elbows, if that's possible. But from this easy spot, we're going to start dropping the head down toward the knees. So this will start us stretching through the backside of the neck really nicely. Try to just drop the head down. From here, let's inch the toes forward, just literally about 1 inch. Keeping the head relaxed down. Notice if this shifted anything through that entire posterior section of the body. And we can inch the toes forward again. And keep this slow journey like this. The idea is we're going forward to the point where we still have the hug. The moment the hug wants to break, that's where we stop. No matter if that's almost at the beginning or if that's almost flat. It's all up to your body. But in this way, we're including the stretch all the way from back of the neck, all the way down the spine, all the way down the legs. It's almost like the sensation we get when we go into a deep plow pose, which is the last pose we'll take together of the day, all the way at the end of class. But just inch yourself forward, getting toward that sensation. Tracing a line all the way on the back half of the body. We're stretching it all. Wherever you end up as the end, just pause there for a moment. Take a few good breaths. As we start to release our hands to the floor, it's going to be a slow journey, pushing into the hands to help support the spine on that lift. When the back muscles are stretched so deeply, they don't like to come out of it immediately. So take your time, just easing your way up. Good. Once you're up, let's take this right leg in and we're gonna cradle it out. So a hand on the knee, a hand on the foot, or sometimes deeper into wrists or forearms. When you get there, let's rock the baby cradle out. So easy rocking motions, getting into that right hip. Good. From here, right hand takes over the outside edge of that right foot. That right knee gets to be pulled back like a happy baby. And then straighten it up as much as we can, getting deep into those muscle fibers in front of us. Good, nice and easy like that, pulsing 4. And especially emphasize the up phase. There's 3. 2. And 1. Stay up, just another breath or 2. And then left hand takes over the outside edge of that foot. That makes it so that the foot in front of us swings off to that left side, which gets us into the IT band. As we start to rotate this right arm open into a nice twist. Now bending this right knee, plant the right foot. Hook that left elbow. We're deepening the twist we were already in. One more chance to deepen. This will get us back into that IT band. This right leg opens out to the right side. And then we continue to spiral our hands to the back of the mat. This gets our weight onto that IT band. As we lower down to elbows, if possible, we're massaging the IT band at the same time that we're stretching it out long. So if you need more, you're welcome to grab that right leg and slide it up even higher. But we're rotating around until we feel that IT band stretch at the same time that we're twisting our spine. A couple of good breaths here, encouraging good, tight things to be just a little bit more open. Another good inhale. Exhale, working back up onto our hands. This right foot comes around in front of us, planting again. Then we're gonna take a wild thing. So left hand is on the floor behind us. Right hand is in front. It sweeps up like a rainbow and we arch our spine back. Just pause here, good inhale. Exhale, relax down. Straighten the right leg. Cradle out left, rocking that hip out a couple of times. Happy baby. Left hand grabs the outside of left foot, pull the knee wide, and let it straighten up. Doing that little pulse, another 4. Emphasizing the up. 3. 2. And 1. Staying up for a moment longer. And right hand takes over the outside of the foot, letting that leg cross over to that top right edge as the left arm opens up behind us. lifting that left knee, plant the left foot. Continue to twist to this angle, just a little bit deeper, hugging the arm around the knee. And getting in toward that IT band area. This left leg goes out to that left angle. As straight and as high as you can. And then hands walk around to the back side of the mat. Maybe lower down to elbows if possible. Make sure you do feel IT band opening, maybe even into hamstrings. A nice inhale. Exhale, start to return. Plant this left foot. We've got the right hand behind us. And left arm sweeps up to sky. Take a little back bend. Maybe a nice inhale. And exhale when we lower down. Let's take our way onto hands and knees. With a lot of that stretching for the legs, let's make sure our spine is still satisfied, it's still happy, it's still sustainable. So let the spine arch up and down in our cats and our cows. Don't feel like you're necessarily rushing back and forth. We're finding a rate that's working for our spine. Let's take 2 more rounds, easing it to each direction. Good. And then stretching through the bottoms of the feet like I promised. Let's tuck our toes. Sometimes only a little bit of weight can transfer back, so it's just the glutes aiming toward the heels. Other times we can bring our whole body weight up over the feet. So only do that if the fascia on the bottom is okay with it. You're gonna take about 4 good slow breaths, working through that area. Imagining by loosening this up, we're allowing the whole posterior line to be a little bit easier. Maybe 2 more deep breaths. And then as we come forward, you can circle the feet or pound them out, whatever feels useful for that feet fascia. Good, and we'll start to rise up to our first downward facing dog. We'll tuck the toes. Start to feel the posterior section of the body stretching. So the spine is long, back is long, the legs are long. It's okay for hips to be super high. And I'll make a note right here. I will start to include flows or vinyasas through the rest of the class. So know that you don't have to take them. You could skip them and just do child poses instead. But from this shape, as we start to feel pretty satisfied, let's make our way up to the top of the mat. Once we're there, let your hands clasp together. You're going to place the pinky fingers on the base of the neck to help the whole head curl in while we're just letting the legs dangle, letting our spine dangle down from our legs. The knees can be bent, they can be straight, it's whatever's working for you right now. But this is a huge stretch, kind of like that clown pose again, getting all the way through that whole posterior section of the body. Another inhale. Exhale, release hands to floor. Inhale, circle up to sky. Maybe take a little back bend. Good. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's take a stretch up and over just to make sure shoulders are doing good. So left hand at our left side, right hand up to the sky, lean over. Good. Anything that's tight about the ribs, we're helping it out. Coming up, let's switch. Good. And then back up to the center. Let's circle arms to sky. Maybe that slight back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, a nice easy half lift. Exhale, hands down to the floor. Step the right leg all the way to the back of the mat. When it's there, drop that right knee to the floor. We're sinking our hips forward. The idea is starting to stretch some of this area on the front of that right hip. When that's tight, the legs also will kind of mimic that tightness. And so we're dropping it down. You could be on blocks if needed. If you don't really feel it as much as you want to, you could walk hands up to the thigh. As long as hips don't back up with you, that would increase that distance that we're stretching. Maybe even arms up to sky. Wherever we're at, let's take another good inhale. And exhale, when hands go to floor, straighten the front leg. A nice easy half split. Don't feel like you have to force anything too deep. We'll be building this up little by little. Just a nice easy half split, leaning forward. The breath continue to flow. Helping all these muscle groups get longer and longer and longer as we go. Okay, when we take this right knee back, this is a chance to do that flow. So if you want to do child pose instead, that's fine. Otherwise, plank. Lowering strong chaturanga. Beautiful little back bend. And back up to downward facing dog. Imagine you have a monkey's tail. That tail finds a pipe on the roof. And it curls around the pipe, helping the hips to lift up super high. So feel how that helps to deepen that experience in the hips. And let's work our way up toward the top of the mat. Clasping hands, pinky fingers at the base of the neck, curling in. Taking a nice inhale. Exhale, release hands. Inhale, sweep up to sky. Let's go immediately down, second side. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down. This time left foot steps all the way to the back. Drop that knee down. We're sinking hips forward, maybe hands on blocks. Maybe hands walking up to the knee. Maybe arms sweeping up to sky. Nice inhale. Exhale, straightening the front leg. Easy lowering down. A nice initial stretch, helping that leg continue to progress its way deeper and deeper. The fascia getting more willing to stretch, the muscle getting more willing to be flexible. As this leg comes back, another optional flow. Lifting when you get to the down dog. Traveling up to the top of the mat. Clasping the hands, pinky fingers to base of neck, curl it in. Making sure that neck tension isn't allowing or preventing our mobility. Nice inhale. Exhale, release hands. Inhale, sweep up to sky. Good, and as hands come to the heart, we're going to shift our weight onto left foot. We've got two options to play with. Is this right knee starts to float out in front of us. If you can bring your hands under the thigh, then what you'll do is allow yourself to let that leg go pulsing out long and then back to the bent place. If you can't reach it with balance, it'll be just a couple of those motions without, just to help work on some strength. Maybe 2 more times if you have the class. And then holding the leg out straight, whether it's muscular or not. Here's a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sweep that leg down and through to warrior 3. Holding for an inhale. Exhale, set the right toes all the way down at the back of the mat. We're sinking down. We're still on the back toes so that we can really lower the hips significantly. Getting into that nice psoas area. Maybe arms sweep up to sky. And then setting up a twist, we either hook the right wrist and left arm is behind us, or we can go down to elbow, prayer position hands. Nice inhale. Exhale, unwind, back heel goes down, arms sweep up, warrior 1. Open up, warrior 2. Extended side angle, front elbow down, the other's reaching forward. Or sometimes left fingers go to floor, your choice. And return up, warrior 2. And reverse it, back hand to back leg, stretch the top arm up and back. And return, warrior 2. As the back hand sweeps down and up, we're going to shorten our stance back up to warrior 1, facing forward. Hands clasped behind our back. The front knees bent just a little bit longer. Arms pull into a little shoulder stretch as we bow the heart directly forward. Nice inhale. Exhale, hands drop down the floor. Try to work the front leg straighter and straighter and straighter. Like a nice pyramid pose, helping you get right back into that hamstring and back of leg area. And here, bumping the hands a good foot or 2 forward. We're in a nice supported warrior 3. Or maybe hands to the heart, warrior 3. And as torso rises, kick that straight right leg out in front of us. Land with the right foot crossing in front of the left foot, pinky toes close. And then roll your spine down, getting into that IT band area again with this forward fold. Either uncross the feet now or later. Either way, roll the spine up. We're back to standing normal. Shifting our weight into right foot. Our left knee floats up. If we can clasp behind, take the clasp as we straighten. And bend left leg, pulsing those muscles longer and longer. Again, you could do the muscular work too without hands. That's a bit harder. Really personal preference, up to you. go one more time out. Then we're holding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sweep the leg down and back into warrior 3. Allowing the back toes to land. Our hips are sinking as low as possible, arms sweeping up to the sky. And from here, that left wrist hooks, right arm opening, or slip down to elbow, prayer position hands. Good. Unwind. Back heel down, arms sweep up. And rotate open warrior 2. Front elbow onto front thigh or front ears down. The other arm rotates forward. Rising up to warrior 2. Reverse it backwards. And warrior 2. This backhand circles down and up as we shorten our stance back to warrior 1. Hand clasp behind us. Bowing forward, pull the arms away into a nice shoulder stretch. A little bit of toning left for that front leg. And as hands drop down toward the floor, let that front leg try to work its way toward straight. Supported warrior 3, hands bump forward, or maybe hands at heart. Left leg kicks out in front of us as torso rises. And then cross that left leg in front, pinky toes close. Roll the spine down. That nice standing IT band stretch. Uncross the feet now or later. Either way, roll up the spine. Let's take a little flow. Uncross the feet. Circle arms up to sky. Forward fold. Half lift. Hands plant. Taking chaturanga. Nice back bend. Downward facing dog. 2 good breaths here before we make our way back up to the top. And as we head there, let's take the hand clasp, pinkies by the base of the neck, curl it in. Nice inhale. Exhale, release hands. Inhale, sweep up. Good, as hands come to heart, we can either play with the same thing we found just a moment ago, the hands on thigh, right leg kicking forward, or if anybody has hand to big toe pose in your practice, so take the first 2 fingers of your right hand, wrap that around your big toe. Posture sets up tall, and then you allow that right leg to try to kick out in front. Leg starts to open wide, little balance challenge. And then leg back forward. As we release, sweep the leg under and through a brief warrior 3. Land to warrior 1. Open up to warrior 2. And then turning our toes to the long edge of the mat. Let's bring hands to hip. And then lower down into wide angle forward fold. So it's up to you to know the variation that will help your body open the best. Maybe it'll be hands on the ankles, trying to pull in. Maybe it's reaching arms through the legs. Find the spot that feels helpful for your body. Sustainable spot that allows us to be here with ease, but yet depth for 2 more breaths. Then turning the front toes forward, walk the hands up to the top of the mat. This front leg is going to turn into pigeon pose. So those left toes need to work their way over to the right so that that knee can drop down. Set up the back leg as far back as possible, but hips are level. From here, let's lower down sleeping pigeon for a little while. This breath continuing to urge our body toward a good, calm, relaxed place. To come out, we'll start to rock our weight onto our left hip, that front hip. This right leg is going to swing all the way around to be in front of us. So you've got 2 options. The left foot can either just be up to that right thigh, or you can sit on the left foot as your right leg is straight out in front of you. So either way, let's lift arms up to sky. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, reach forward, deep stretch for that right straight leg. Finding hands on the ground. We're going to lift our hips up into half splits. Or at this point, we can continue to inch deeper and deeper and deeper, as close to full splits as we want to go. Find a good depth that's obviously deep. You're enjoying it, you're deep in it, but yet it's sustainable. You could be here for a full 2 or 3 minutes if required. I won't make you, but you could be there. That's that sustainable approach. So nice inhale. Exhale. Let's bring the right leg back. Maybe take a flow. Breath or 2 in a down dog. And then making our way up to the top. Our last time for hands to clasp together, pinkies at base of neck, curl it all in. Taking an inhale. Exhale. Inhale, sweep up to sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Last side with this, standing on right foot. You either are clasping around left and straightening out, or first 2 fingers on left hand around the big toe, postures up tall as we start to kick it forward. A chance to balance as the leg goes wide for a moment. And back forward. Release the toes, sweep back warrior 3. Land warrior 1. Open warrior 2. And turn the toes to this long edge. Taking wide angle forward fold, maybe a new arm position, maybe not. Find a whole new type of depth with muscles even more warm and willing to open than before. Good. Walking hands to the front toes, turn the front toes forward. The front foot turns into pigeon shape. Lowering down, even taking sleeping pigeon. Maybe the head drops down for these last 2 breaths, getting some of that tension out of the neck. And as hands come underneath us, let's rock onto that front hip. Back leg sweeps all the way forward. We're either allowing this right foot to be up to that left thigh, or we're coming up to sit on the right foot. Either way, we allow ourselves to straighten, arms up to side. Take that deep forward fold around this left leg. And hands on the floor, pressing our way up to half splits. Or maybe shifting back or forward as deep as we want to go toward full splits. Remember that sustainable approach. Something that feels good, it's not going to break us. So 2 more deep breaths. And then as we come out of it, you can either take a kneeling recovery or come down to sit for just a moment, kind of letting the knees go left and right. I'll guide us through one more shape together, but know that you don't have to do it. It'll be plow pose. So if you prefer to do different stretches instead, that's fine. If you prefer, if you have a block, you could just set a block under the hips and let the legs be up. Or if you have a wall, you can place your legs up the wall and then push the feet into the wall to lift up like a partial version of a plow pose. But if you're going with me into plow, the idea, most people get into plow by rolling. We roll back, and then when the hips are above us, we push hands onto the back side of the hips. We try to walk our elbows as close together as possible. I usually straighten up before I start to release my straight legs over all the way into plow. So know that you don't have to touch your feet to the ground. This is a good stretch all the way from back of neck, up the whole spine and down the whole legs. So if your toes don't touch, leave your hands on your hips. If they do touch, you have an option to clasp hands and allow your arms to be in a good shoulder stretch behind you, if that feels good. So this and the rest of class is going to be up to you how long to maintain it. You could come out now and just add another little twist or two. You could pause here another 30 seconds if it's feeling really helpful today. It's all up to you to just continue to stretch and explore, only coming out of it, doing any little recovery movements when you're ready to do so. And also knowing that your Shavasana is up to you when your body's ready to get there and what the shape is of your Shavasana today. Maybe bent knees falling in, making it easy for that whole back space that we stretched so deeply. Maybe legs up the wall. We've got so many variations. Just listen to your body. And when you get there, sooner or later, it's that beautiful, sustainable, restful place. Just enjoy that breath flowing in, breath flowing out. Just enjoying getting to be here for a few minutes together, resting toward this end of class. Here we're going to gradually aim our way out of it. Maybe just start off with a couple of really good deep breaths. Introducing fingers and movement back to them. Letting the toes wiggle. Taking any type of stretching like we're waking up first thing in the morning. A nice fetal position if you're ready. Enjoying maybe another breath or two until you're ready to rise up to a comfortable seated place. Hands at our heart. We reconnect to that simple idea of sustainability, realizing we can apply this to more of our life. If we approach things rather than exhausting all our energy trying to just get things done today, what if we approach it in a sustainable way, breaking up our tasks and just taking in a nice easy amount today and an easy amount tomorrow, and heading forward into our goals step by step. So with this easy kind of sustainability to lead us on and to allow us to have this deeper kind of flexibility stretching forward, let's allow ourselves to wrap up the time we shared together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. Om. May we be filled with light, and happiness, and peace. Namaste.